Do you wish that your cold email outreach actually got replied to? Like, what if you could generate a 25% reply rate on your emails? What if you could get 161 opportunities in your business? How would that change everything? In this video, I'm going to be talking about my cold email outreach strategy, which gets 25% reply rates. I'm going to give you my script so you can literally just copy and paste, and then I'm going to show you as well how Alex Hormozi does cold outreach and why it's completely different than what everyone else teaches in the market. And you can see that even if you're a complete beginner like Mia here, who is inside my paid school group, he implemented the same sorts of things using what we call the podcast method, and in 6 weeks, he has generated $16,000 in revenue in new business and collected $7,000 in a single week. And this is from a complete standing start. So if you're an existing business owner or a B2B service operator, then this is going to be an absolute game changer for you. So why should you listen to me? You can go and you can check out some of these case studies where I have generated millions and millions of dollars in pipeline for clients just like you at Dopamine Digital, using email and flooding their business with new high-quality leads. Let me break down why your cold email is not getting replies. So there are 3 common myths here: that you're using bad subject lines, you're using weak copy, or there is a lack of personalization. Let me just show you why that is complete bollocks, because this is completely unpersonalized, and I'm still getting 25% reply rates at scale. That is not the reason why emails fail. Most cold email advice on YouTube only fixes the surface, right? They talk about segmenting, so like who you're talking to. They talk about personalizing the lines, so showing that you did the work, respecting the scroll, so just trying to be like short copy, which, all of this stuff works, but it's not the core issue. And follow-ups, so staying in peripheral vision. These fix execution problems. They're not fixing the strategy. They make a bad offer look professional, but they don't make it wanted. You are still asking for a stranger for the most expensive currency on earth, which is their time. So here is how you create an irresistible offer through your cold email outreach. So we don't improve our reply rates by writing better emails. We improve them by changing what we offer. It is the most powerful part of cold email. And you do that by creating a lead magnet in your offer. So you don't outreach with a sales script. If you look at the things that I was saying here, is I'm offering John to come onto my podcast. I'm not offering him a sales message. I'm not offering him a free audit. I'm not saying that I've recorded a quick video for him. Can I send it over? I'm offering something of value to him that is a lead magnet. Replies always come from lower barrier to entry or commitment asks. So give instead of asking for something. Deliver value before asking for anything. And this is the same thing that Hormozi teaches, right? So give instead of asking. Get a low commitment, like a yes shouldn't feel like a marriage proposal. And if they can't decide to reply within 3 seconds, they won't. Like if I look at a cold email that I got sent about somebody trying to sell me, I don't even know what, SEO. So I'm an independent SEO specialist. Like, this is just way too much. It takes me more than 3 seconds to skim it. I'm just not interested in reading bullet points. You have lost me. Just a waste of time, right? What is the point? So most lead magnets still fail in cold email because they are this cookie cutter. They are some kind of, let's say, a Loom video or some kind of audit or a free call that you can get on so that they can be sold to. People don't like that kind of stuff. Sending generic checklists or ultimate guides that a GPT could write in 5 seconds, also terrible idea. Show proof of work. This is the fix. If no one else could have made it, it's valuable. Generic equals invisible. Mistake number 2 is that giving away some kind of free fitness ebook to sell marketing software. Your magnet must be a mini version of your service, right? It should attract buyers, not freebie hunters. So relevance builds intent. And then the hidden pitch. So Masking a sales deck as a case study is an issue here. Solve one specific problem for free, and when they see the result, they'll ask for the price. Lead magnets are tools, they're not ads. So having some kind of free call also does not count as a lead magnet, because it's going to be all about how can I sell you something, as opposed to how can I add a ton of value, or how can I give you value without asking. So booking a call is the highest friction CTA that you can possibly ask for. But a lead magnet also should not be some generic PDF or a newsletter link, right? So when you say stuff like this, soil company might be struggling with pain point, I'd be happy to do a quick audit mini project, no pitch, just value. Should take about 10 minutes, want me to send it over. Like, okay, this stuff doesn't bomb, but it can be so much better. So delivery is manual here, but the conversion is much higher, especially useful in competitive niches or high ticket offers. And so stuff like this, I use stuff like this, but it is not the biggest needle mover, because you're still taking a little bit from them instead of just giving. And I'll show you the strategy that has closed at $16,000 a business from a brand new standing start. Now, the follow-up strategy, without sounding desperate, right? If they didn't respond, resend the offer with a short reminder. Add a second tip or insight and just keep helping. Share a related mini case study or a client win. And if they accept the lead magnet, deliver it quickly. Like, it should be delivered within the hour. Like, ideally, you respond within 60 seconds, but I understand, we don't live in a world like where everything is perfect. Follow up 24 to 48 hours later. Ask, was it helpful? And offer a next step if they show interest. Don't force it. And really, you should be following up as many times as possible until they say no. So my unique method, which gets 25% reply rates, and it works especially well if you're a B2B service-based business. So if you're an agency, if you're a consultant, or if you're in that industry where you offer some kind of high-ticket service and you have to have authority and trust with the person that you're speaking to, this works unbelievably well. It's called the podcast method. So it flips the script from vendor to partner by offering a platform instead of a service. So step one is to invite them as a guest onto your podcast. There's no pitch on the podcast, and position it as exposure and a done-for-you content engine. Step number two is to have a conversation, not interrogation. So let them talk about their business, ask them some questions. You can slip in a couple of leading questions about some of the problems that they might be experiencing, and I can guarantee you that they're experiencing some kind of problems. Otherwise, they wouldn't be on the call. On the second step is where, if you're really good at what you do, you will present with an enormous amount of authority to them, and you will win over their trust. And if you can articulate the problems that they have in their business better than they can articulate it themselves, they will just automatically assume that you have the solution. And step number three is to give. So at the end of the podcast, you give them the clips and all of the content that you have just filmed, right? So after some time, you clip everything up. You say to them, I'm going to be giving you the content. And if it's appropriate, you can say, hey, listen, John, you mentioned you have problem X, Y, Z. That's exactly what we help people like you do. Would you be against maybe another call where we could talk about that? And 80% of people will say absolutely. And it's because they feel understood and already helped, and they're excited and they feel respected. And then so that natural transition is want help implementing this. So here is an example of a personalized outreach script that works really well. This is like the logic of this method, right? So invite them to an interview that you are the host of and they are the guest. This removes the beggar dynamic common in cold email. You engage reciprocity. So you gave them a platform, you edited their content, you gave them exposure, you posted across your LinkedIn and YouTube and socials. and you gave them the content for them to do the same thing, and now they are psychologically more inclined to say yes to a follow-up. And then it's contextual selling. So you aren't pitching a generic service. You are pitching a solution to a problem that they told you that they have. And in the moment, you demonstrated authority that you are uniquely skilled in solving that particular problem. And oftentimes, I have gotten to the end of podcasts where I have given some advice as people have made it known that they have XYZ problem. And I'm like, oh, wow, I heard that you've got this problem. Would you... like, have you tried this? Because what we've found actually working with a similar business is that once we did that, reply rates went from 3% to 25%, and they exploded their business by doing this, this, and this. Anyway, moving on to the next question. And at the end, when you pause the recording, they'll say, thanks so much. Listen, Jordan, you were talking about how to solve that thing. And like, I don't know if this is something that you do, but like, would you be able to do that for us? And then I go, yeah, absolutely. That's what I do. That's my main business. And so these are the scripts that I would use. And you can see, like, I have pulled these straight from my personalized campaigns inside of Instantly. Thought you might be a good fit for the podcast. Follow-up message. Love to have you in the podcast. Step 3, did you miss the last email? And then step 4, basically like last chance. So you can see them all here. Look, I will leave this linked down below in the free school group. So you can join the free school group clicking the first link in the description. Dopamine Digital School Group, where it's a free group helping business owners and entrepreneurs make more money with marketing. I will leave everything linked inside the classroom, where I've got like breakdowns of Hormozzi's videos with all the Miro boards and all the resources that you need. Even custom like Miro boards that you won't be able to find anywhere else, and like stuff that's taken me decades and cost me tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of dollars to figure out. I'll leave that linked down below completely for free. There is no catch. If you want to join my paid one, that's obviously an option here as well. But this is completely for free. All right? So I'll leave all the scripts and stuff linked down below. Make sure you go check those out. Now, matching the offer to the cold prospect, because cold emails fail when the offer doesn't match the awareness level. And I don't know how many times I need to say this before people realize that this is the most important part of reaching out and selling anything through ads, cold email, standing on a corner and handing out flyers, whatever you're doing. If you're trying to reach people who don't know that they have a problem, you are not going to be able to sell them something. You're not going to be able to sell them a solution to a problem that they don't know that they have. Just like if you're an alcoholic, you cannot solve the problem unless you first admit that you have a problem. So to convert a stranger, you have to diagnose their current state of mind before you pitch. It's not about what you sell, it's about what they are ready to receive. So read that again, that's very important. So if the prospect doesn't know what's broken, use this lead magnet, a diagnostics or an audit. If they know that they have a problem, but they don't know that there is a solution that exists, offer some kind of value-first resource. If they are skeptical, if they've been burned in the past, offer an experienced lead magnet. And if they're like a senior level and super busy, then a service-based teaser works really well. So the reason these things work is because when a prospect is stuck but can't name why, your audit becomes the map. You aren't selling a fix, you're selling clarity. And if people know that they have a problem but they don't know what the solution is, then a framework or a swipe file shows that you have the authority to solve their problem through a predictable process. And so in their minds, they think, okay, as long as I follow this process, I will get the outcome. And obviously people don't like being sold, so this helps really well where you give them an experience so they can actually see the process in motion. And then decision makers don't want to read a 20-page PDF. They want a 5-minute Loom video potentially, right? So the offer must match the mindset. And if there's a mismatch, you just get ignored. Right, and so finally, the pattern. So everything pulled all together, right? After all examples, there's one pattern. The difference between a cold email that gets deleted and one that gets a yes isn't a clever subject line. It's the underlying architecture of the offer. The lever of success, writing versus offering. So you've got better copy. It helps marginally. It makes you sound maybe more professional. But better asks changes the outcomes. It's what makes you impossible to ignore. So most people focus on, all right, give me a script, right? Like writing better copy, smarter wording, clever persuasion. But what actually moves results is better asks, so better offers, lower friction. So like instead of selling them something, give them a lead magnet, and then obviously right timing. So everything can't be absolutely perfect, but you could talk about this being the right awareness level. So put more simply, the things that you should be focusing on are offers, lead magnets, and reaching the right awareness levels. If your outreach is failing, stop looking at your grammar and start looking at your offer. That's almost always where the problem is. So instead of, can we hop on a 15-minute call so I can pitch you, it becomes, I found a leak, I fixed a part of it for you, here's the result, want to see the rest. Cold emails don't need better writing, they need better offers. And if you want us to put together a free comprehensive growth plan for you, you can check out dopaminedigital.io. I will literally break down your entire business step by step, just like I've done for all of these founders. Go and watch some of these case studies. Like this is a 16-minute
thanks, Josh, for
interview with the founder. And then click here. You can actually see what I'm going to give you. I've charged up to $500 in the past for this, and it's worth significantly more than that. And all you need to do is click this button and then fill out this 2 to 3 minute form with all your business details. I will create a custom 12-month growth plan for you and a personalized Loom video just like this, breaking down exactly step by step how to solve all of those bottlenecks and grow your business without getting on a sales call so you're not being sold. And then if you choose to work with me, then I'll show you what that looks like. But at the very least, like worst case, you will be able to take this plan and implement it into your own business. Okay, so I can only do a handful of these a week. So if you want that, make sure you check the link in the description. Just below the free school group, I'll leave that linked as well. So thank you guys very much for watching. If you want me to break down in more detail the podcast method, how it all works, and how you can implement it into your own business, including all of the setup and all that kind of stuff, leave me a comment below as well. I read every single one and I reply to every single one. So I'll see you in the next video. Have a wonderful day, guys. Peace.